So we'd like to begin singing one of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs, Vibhavari Shesha. You can put it on the PowerPoint, on the screen.
I want to show about on the screen, Vibhavari Shesha.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given us some nice songs to sing in the morning, relevant to the time of the day. So especially in the morning, we'd like to sing Vibhavari Shesha, and the other song is Arunadaya Kirtan, which is in two parts, with the Jeev Jago, the second part. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur labored so much to compose these very nice songs, many songs. So we're so fortunate that we can absorb ourselves in chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna in these very nice poetic compositions of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Anyway, most of you can follow, even if you can't get it on the screen. Vibhavari Shesha Loka Pravesha Nidra Chariyota Jiva Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Pravesha Nidra Chariyota Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Nasimhavamana Sri Madhusudana Rajendra Nandana Shyama Nasimhavamana Sri Madhusudana Rajendra Nandana Shyama Bhutana Gatana Kaitaba Shatana Jaya Dasarathi Rama Bhutana Gatana Kaitaba Shatana Jaya Dasarathi Rama Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bhora Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bhora Ravana Kakora Makana Kasara Gopi Jana Vastrahari Ravana Kakora Makana Kasara Gopi Jana Vastrahari Brajera Rakala Gopa Vrindapala Chitta Hare Vamsi Jare Brajera Rakala Gopa Vrindapala Chitta Hare Vamsi Jare Yogendra Bandana Srinandanandana Prajajana Bayahare Yogendra Bandana Srinandanandana Prajajana Bayahare Nabhinani Radha Rupa Manohara Mohana Vamsi Bihari Nabhinani Radha Rupa Manohara Mohana Vamsi Bihari Yashoda Nandana Kamsa Nishudana Nikunja Rasa Vilasi Yashoda Nandana Kamsa Nishudana Nikunja Rasa Vilasi Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana Vrindavipina Nivasi Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana Vrindavipina Nivasi Ananda Vardhana Premani Chaitanya Kulasharayo Japakana Ananda Vardhana Premani Chaitanya Kulasharayo Japakana Gopangana Gana Chita Vinodana Samasta Guna Gana Dhamma Gopangana Gana Chita Vinodana Samasta Guna Gana Dhamma Yamuna Jivana Chili Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora Yamuna Jivana Chili Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora Namashudaras Ko Krishna Yas Rakho Vachana Manamora Namashudaras Ko Krishna Yas Rakho Vachana Manamora Vibhavari Secha Haloka Provecha Nidratari Utajiva Vibhavari Secha Haloka Provecha Nidratari Utajiva Bolo Hare Hare Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Bolo Hare Hare Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Nitai Gaur Hari Gaur Hari Gaur Hari Gaur Nitai Gaur So that is just one of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs. Of course, there are many, many other songs. One of the compilations of songs which he's given us is a collection of songs known as Sharanagati. And in Sharanagati, he has listed the 6 characteristics of surrender, which are given to us in the purport of the Bhagavad Gita, text 1866, Sarvadharmam Parigyajna Mamikam Sharanam. So within the purport, Srila Prabhupada has told about the 6 characteristics of surrender. They're also given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anukoyasa Sankauga Pritiko Yashavarjanam. Like that. The 6 items: accepting everything favorable for devotional service, then rejecting everything which is not favorable, understanding that only Krishna is our maintainer, and then knowing Lord Krishna to be also our protector, the sole protector of the devotees. Then having no desire separate from the desire of Krishna, and finally always being meek and humble. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a number of songs about each of these different characteristics of surrender. And some of them are given to us in our Vaishnava songbook, just like Shuddha Bhaktita, Charanarenu Bhajana Anukula. Like that, that is in relation to what is favorable to devotional service. The dust of the feet of the devotees, the water wash the feet, and the remnants of foodstuff. And then the second verse he talks about the holy day like Ekadasi and Janmashtami, how they become the mother of devotion for those devotees who take shelter of them. So in this way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur presented the philosophy of Krishna consciousness in his writing and in a poetic style also. And not just ordinary poetry, but poems which could actually be sung. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur labored intensely doing this. Actually, he began writing books as a very young man. He was only like 12 years old or something when he wrote his first book. He actually began writing at a very early age in his life. And he was, of course, well educated. He was educated in English as well as all the other languages, regional languages, the Oriya and the Bengali and the Hindi. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quickly got jobs in the government service. Actually, as a young child, his family members passed away and he was left in some difficulty. And he took up service in the government because at that time India was ruled by the British Raj. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur managed to get some position in the government service. And at one point he was sent to Puri. And he was sent to Puri, and in a short time he became the deputy magistrate there. And then he was put in charge of the temple of Lord Jagannath. And that was a service which he very much enjoyed, because he was able to go to see Lord Jagannath every day. And he would go every evening, he would spend a few hours seeing Lord Jagannath and watching the worship. And as the supervisor of the temple, he was responsible to see that everything was done in a proper manner. He would also give lectures there. He had begun lecturing, and he would lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam. So it happened that one evening, while he was in the Jagannath Puri temple, he was lecturing on the Srimad Bhagavatam, and at that time, while he was giving in the middle of his discourse, the king of Puri came. The king of Puri came, and he was creating a lot of disturbance. He was making a lot of noise, and he disturbed Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's discourse. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur voiced his disapproval to the king, and he openly told the king, he said that you may be the king of a tiny kingdom here, but Lord Jagannath is the king of all the universes, and he's residing here, and you are disturbing him with all of your noise. And so the king of Puri took the remarks of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur seriously, and he apologized and he bowed down. So it showed something of the authority and the respect which Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or Kedarnath Dutt as he was known, generally he was called Kedarnath Dutt. Later on he became known Satchit Ananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but his name was Kedarnath Dutt, and he was very much respected even by the king. And then it happened some months later in that same year that Bhaktivinoda Thakur found some discrepancy in the temple accounts, and he found out that the king of Puri had misappropriated the sum of 80,000 rupees. So 80,000 rupees in those days was a very big amount. Nowadays, of course, it's not very much, but in those days, we're talking more than 100 years ago, 1860s, 1860s and 70s. So it's 150 years ago. It's a lot of money. And so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur told the king that you have to repay this money, and you should do it by making offerings to Lord Jagannath. You should offer 52 offerings regularly for the service of Lord Jagannath. So it became a big burden on the king. The king was so angry at this that the king of Puri, that he hired brahmanas to do a yajna, and he wanted these brahmanas to do a yajna which would kill Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He actually hired some 50 brahmanas, and they were doing the yajna for 30 days. Every day they were doing this yajna, and the purpose of the yajna was that Bhaktivinoda Thakur should drop dead. Now, we know from the Srimad Bhagavatam how after Maharaj Anga's son was Vena, and King Vena was very cruel and very impious. So the brahmanas, they cursed him just simply by their words. They cursed Vena, and Vena dropped dead. The power of the brahmanas was so great. So the same way this king of Puri, 150 years ago, he hired 50 brahmanas to perform a yajna for 30 days. And the result he wanted was that Bhaktivinoda Thakur should die. But at the end of the 30 days, the son of the king of Puri died. So he got just the opposite of what he wanted. That shows something of the spiritual power of the personality of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Another example of his spiritual potency was while he was in Puri, there was one person called Bhikshena. Bhikshena was telling people that he was an incarnation of Vishnu. And this Bhikshena had mystic powers. Fire could come out from his head, from his hair. He had long hair, and from his hair fire would come out. And he was very powerful, and he had the respect of the common people. Many people were following him. He had thousands of followers. And people were all saying it, he is Vishnu. He is the Vishnu avatar. He's come to deliver us. So this Bhikshena was actually a rascal, debauchee. And he was doing things like calling young women, even married women. He would bring them to his ashram and he would perform Rasa Leela with them and then have illicit affairs with them. In this way he corrupted many young women. So the situation became very outrageous. Even people in neighboring towns near to Puri, like as far away as Bhubaneswar and Cuttack, they had heard about this Bhikshena. And the people, respected people there, were worried that he may come and seduce the ladies there as well, because he's so powerful. So the British government requested Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to take up the case and to do something about it. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, being conversant in all the scriptures, he knew that this man was an impostor and a rascal, and that he was not at all an incarnation of God. But common people didn't know. And this Bhikshena was there, and he had some other people, his other cronies. One would say he was Brahma, and the other would say he's the incarnation of Shiva. And in this way the ordinary people were worshipping him. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur came there, and he came with some soldiers, and he came and they arrested Bhikshena. They took him to the court. Bhikshena, of course, was proposing that he's innocent and that he's God, and he was threatening Bhaktivinoda Thakur that you will die. I'm going to curse you. You and all your family members, you're all going to die. Don't you know I'm God? He was telling them like this, you see, and he was very powerful. And what happened was he was arrested and he was held in custody, and he did not eat and he did not drink water for 28 days. Somehow this man, you know, usually if you go even 4 or 5 days, you will die if you don't eat food and drink water. But somehow this yogi, this rascal yogi, was living 28 days, and he was still physically able to walk around and curse people all the time. Anyway, he was taken and held in custody for 28 days, and he was threatening all the time Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you and all your family, you're all going to die. And indeed, it happened that some of the family members of Bhaktivinoda Thakur got very sick, and they were very ill. And he was telling Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you better let me go. If you don't let me go, your family members are going to die. It will be your fault. Bhaktivinoda Thakur would not listen. I don't care if my family member is going to die. I'm not letting you get off free. You're a rascal and a cheater. You've corrupted. You're degrading the principle of religion. You have to be punished. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so powerful that even though his family members were suffering, he would not compromise on the principles of religion. And he insisted this person had to be brought to court. So they brought him to court and they had the trial, and even Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very sick. He had to be carried into court at that time. He was so sick. But Bhikshena was there, and the judge heard the case and he found him guilty, and he sentenced him to hard labor in prison. So when this Bhikshena was being taken away from the court, at that time, a young British officer came forward with big scissors and he cut the long hair of Bhikshena. You know, these tantric yogis, they have long hair. They get their power from long hair. Devotees of Krishna, they get their power by cutting their hair, by shaving their heads, not by having long hair. It's better to cut the hair for the devotees. But these tantric yogis, because they have evil desires and they want to do bad things, so they have the long hair. So this man, young British man, came forward with big shears and he cut the hair of the yogi. And when he cut his hair, the yogi fell on the ground and he became helpless. And when the common people saw that because his hair had been cut, he had no power anymore, then they understood, oh, he is not a real incarnation of God. And many people, they gave up following him. Anyway, he was put to prison. While he was in prison, he committed suicide, drinking some poison. And in a short time, he died, left the world. So this was one of the dealings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in fighting against irreligion and establishing what are the real principles of religion. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur resided there in Jagannath Puri, overseeing the affairs of the temple. And while he was residing there in Puri, it happened that his wife gave birth to a son. And that son was known as Bimal Prasad. At that time, their home was on the path where the Jagannath chariot goes. At the time of Rathi Yatra, they will pull the chariot from the main temple at Puri, which is Nilachal. They'll pull it to the Sundarachal temple, which is Gundicha. So on that main road, there's a big wide road there. Big wide road because the chariots come down that road, and the chariots don't have any brakes. And they don't have any steering either. So you need a wide road to push the chariot. So one day it happened that the chariot stopped outside the home of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And while the chariots were there, at that time Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife took the opportunity to bring one of her newly born son out and place him near to Lord Jagannath. And it was at that time the garland fell from the deity of Jagannath as almost like an offering to the child. And this child, of course, grew up to be Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And he became the spiritual master of our own founder, Acharya. So that was one pastime which took place there in Puri. However, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he desired to go back to Mayapur, back to Bengal. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's ancestral home was in a place called Birnagar, which is on the road when you come from Calcutta, going out to Mayapur, you can pass the place Birnagar. So their ancestral home is there. One of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's sons was living there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of course, had a large family. I think it was 12 children. The youngest was someone called Lalit Prasad. And Lalit Prasad was living there at Virnagar in the ancestral home. And the devotees met him. The devotees, they like to go and meet these kind of people. So Lalit Prasad was there, and they went to meet Lalit Prasad, and he was very happy to meet the devotees. And later on, Srila Prabhupada also came there, because Lalit Prasad had some of the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He had kept some of the original writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Srila Prabhupada thought it would be very nice, he can give them to us, we may like to publish these things. I think today some of them are preserved in our Bhaktivedanta Research Institute in Calcutta. There is a research library there in Calcutta, and they do have many writings of previous acharyas. Different manuscripts and documents have been donated to the library there. And so I think some of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writings are there. So Lalit Prasad, anyway, he met with Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada talked with him. One thing they talked about was working together. Srila Prabhupada invited him. They said, you can come and work, come and join our movement, let's preach. Lalit Prasad said, yes, but everybody who joins have to be my follower. So Srila Prabhupada thought, not very practical. He is actually, Lalit Prasad, he was Raganuga Bhakti, teaching Raganuga Bhakti, doing that. And he did initiate some Westerners also, and they took Raganuga initiation from. Anyway, that's Birnagar, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur came back. He wanted to research the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One of the very important missions of Bhaktivinoda Thakur was to establish the actual birth site of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There were many things Bhaktivinoda Thakur did. In his time, he could not even get a copy of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was only with great difficulty he managed to find out a copy of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Another book which he found was the Upadesh Amrita, which we call the Nectar of Instruction. This book practically had been lost in the course of time. Rupa Goswami's writing, nobody had heard of the Upadesh Amrita. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in Vrindavan, and he heard about how there was one learned Pandit there who had a very nice library. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur managed to meet the Pandit, and the Pandit invited Bhaktivinoda Thakur to come and have a look at his library. And when he was looking through the library of that Pandit, he came across this book in a manuscript form, the Upadesh Amrita. And when Bhaktivinoda Thakur found it, he expressed his great joy. He said, oh, this will bring so much pleasure to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur had copies made, and then later on he wrote a commentary, and then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also wrote a commentary, and later on our own Srila Prabhupada wrote also his commentary. on this very important book of Rupa Goswami. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur did so much work. He labored constantly to help us to establish what we call today the Krishna consciousness movement. As I said, the birthplace was very important to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he had been reading many different books, and he could understand that the actual birth site of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not be in Navadvip, that it had to be on the other side of the Ganga. But all the people were saying, no, no, Janmastan, Mahaprabhu's Janmastan is there in Navadvip. Even today there are some people who will argue that the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Navadvip. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur took the help of maps and so many things. He had his own house at Swarupganj. So Swarupganj overlooks the Jalangi, and from across the Jalangi you come to Mayapur, and you can see what is now today. We have our ISKCON temple, the Yoga Pit. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living at Swarupganj, and he would chant on the roof of his house, and he could see some effulgence over there in Mayapur. So he was puzzled, he was attracted to go and see. And he went there, and he saw, when he went there, he saw not only was this effulgence coming from there, but there were many tulsis growing there. Many, many tulsi trees were growing there. And then when they did some excavation, then he found also some deity was there. The deity which had been worshipped by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's own parents, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata. There was a Vishnu deity there. So that deity was found. So along with scriptural evidence, Bhaktivinoda Thakur could understand that this must actually be the birth site of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One of the reasons was the samadhi of the Chankazi. The samadhi of the Chankazi is well known. The Mohammedan people, they had the samadhi for the Chankazi, and that samadhi had been there since the passing away of the Chankazi. And that samadhi was beside the home of the Chankazi. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had led the civil disobedience procession to the home of the Chankazi. And there's no mention of them crossing the Ganga to go to the home of the Chankazi. So it's very clear that the home of the Chankazi was not far away. It was walking distance from the home of people like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar, Advaita Acharya, Srivas. They all had their homes there in that one area. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur established then the Yoga Pit, the temple for the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, he did not have any money to build the temple, but he announced that he was ready to go begging and ask 1 rupee from every gentleman in Calcutta. So he was such a respected person because he was respected by all kinds of people. Just like we say about the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they're described in the Goswami Astikam, Dira Dira Jana Priyo Priyakaro, that they loved both by the gentle and the ruffians. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was respected by all kinds of people. He was very much liked by all the local people, and the foreign people there also had great regard for him because of all of his work and his culture and education. He could speak to everyone and relate to everyone. He was writing also profusely throughout his life. The Sri Krishna Samhita was one of his books. When that was published, it gained a lot of acclaim from all the learned people. Later on, he also wrote Jaiva Dharma, which is a very important book, which is translated and studied a lot by devotees today, as well as all of the other songs which he gave us, and then his commentaries also on different scriptures like Chaitanya Charitamrita and Upadeshamrita. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in order to confirm the Yoga Peeth, he brought Jagannath Das Babaji there. Jagannath Das Babaji, he was the leader of all the Pandits, all the Babajis, all the sadhus there in Navadvip. He was the head of them all, and the most senior, the most respected, the most knowledgeable. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur arranged to bring Jagannath Babaji there. He was nearly 130 years old at the time, and he was carried there by his servant. So it is described that when he came there on the back of his servant, that he got up and jumped and danced and said, yes, this is the place. This must be the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So with the confirmation of Jagannath Das Babaji and with scriptural evidence, as well as evidence from different maps, Bhaktivinoda Thakur established what is actually the birth site of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it was then he arranged for his own son to come there and stay there in Mayapur. Mayapur at that time was very remote, it was more like jungle, there was not much there, but he wanted to build the temple. And it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's desire also that we would develop the parikrama of all the places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And to facilitate the parikrama, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this book, Navadvip Parikrama, Navadvip Mahatmya, describing all the different places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And later on, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati took up the parikrama there in Navadvip, and with thousands of devotees, and with the elephant and many other horses and so on, they went on the parikrama around the holy places of Navadvip, fulfilling the desire of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not advent himself in this world just simply to deliver a few Indian people. He advented in this world to deliver the whole universe, people all over the universe. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur had this vision that the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are meant for the world. And for that purpose, he wrote in the English language, and after writing and publishing, he would send copies to the West. And indeed, in the year 1896, he had sent copies of a booklet which he had written about the life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So of course 1896 was the same year in which our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada advented in this world. So that was also significant. And later on, our own Prabhupada told devotees about how Bhaktivinoda Thakur had sent books to the West. So the devotees, they thought, we have to check this out. And they went to the universities. They went to places like McGill University in Toronto, and they found the books. They actually found copies of the books which Bhaktivinoda Thakur had sent there more than 100 years ago. So they were very pleased, encouraged, with appreciating the efforts, the desire of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to distribute Krishna consciousness to everyone. And it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prediction that in the future there would be Chinese and American and Russian and Africans, and they would all come together with the Bengalis, and they would all chant the holy name of Lord Gauranga. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prediction was fulfilled in the years to come. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted so much to see Krishna consciousness established everywhere. He himself would go village to village, and it was his program to have Bhakti Briksha and Nam Hatha. These were all the concepts of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He would go village to village, and his program was just like our program. He would do kirtan, he would speak some philosophy, and then they would all take prasadam together. In this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had his Namhata program going everywhere. Many people became his followers. But he wanted to spread Krishna consciousness everywhere, not just only in Bengal, not just only in India, but throughout the whole world. That was his vision, because he knew, of course, Mahaprabhu had also predicted that the holy name would be spread to every town and village. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he played a very, very vital part in establishing this Krishna consciousness movement. You can see in one of our books, Srila Prabhupada has put at the bottom of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that he describes Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the pioneer of spreading Krishna consciousness in the Western world. So the fact that I'm here today is only by the mercy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his desire that he could see Krishna consciousness spread to Western countries, all over the planet, everywhere. People should get the opportunity to hear the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he studied all the different religious philosophies. As a young man, he read about Christianity, because at that time the British were ruling India. So many young people, they thought, oh, I should become a Christian, because all the British are here and they're Christian. So if I'm a Christian, then they will accept me. I will be able to get a good position with them. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur read the books. He read all the Bible. He read the Quran. He read all these different philosophical teachings. He was not convinced until he came across the Srimad Bhagavatam. It was by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam that he understood that here is the great treasure. Here is all of the philosophical knowledge anyone could desire. Right, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nigama Kalpa Taror Dalitam Pulam, Shukamukad Amrita Drava Samyatam, Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Mahuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the Vedas. And it's all the more sweeter because it has come from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so appreciative of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he read it again and again, and he wrote also his notes and compiled Sri Krishna Samhita based on what he had understood from Srimad Bhagavatam. He wanted so much that these books would be published and made available for people everywhere. So the Krishna consciousness movement is trying to fulfill the desire of Bhaktivinoda Thakur by publishing the books in different languages and distributing them all over the world. And you can see now sets of Srimad Bhagavatam are available in Russian and in Chinese and in Spanish and in Italian, in French, all the different languages, German of course. So very important work, and this was the desire of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as I said, he had a large family. He trained all of his children to be devotees. He wanted them all to help him to spread the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requires pure-hearted souls to take up the work of Krishna consciousness. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had this large family for the purpose of having devotees to help him spread Krishna consciousness. And he taught them everything. He had them taught the languages, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He was only 6 years old. He could already quote the whole Bhagavad Gita. And he could preach it also. So this is something Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I think he departed in Jagannath Puri. At the end of his life, he took Babaji and he just simply chanted the holy name. But he would say, if you bring a horse, you can put me on the horse and take me for preaching. He wanted so much to go out and preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There were no cars in those days, so he said, if you can bring a horse or something, put me on and I will go out for preaching. So this was his mood. He wrote many poems. One of the poems is very famous, I think you all must know it. He reasons ill who tells that dies to live, while thou art living still and sound. A Vaishnava dies to live, and in living tries to spread the holy name around. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this verse. It's from a series of poems which were written in glorification of Haridas Thakur. And later on it became the epithet on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's memorial. So we can sing some more songs about by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. One of the most famous of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, of course, is Yashomati Nandana. Did you sing that yet? Yashomati Nandana Brajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Khana. Jasomati Nandana Brajabaranatara Gokula Ranjana Pana Gopi Harana Dhanama Dhana Manohara Gopi Harana Dhanama Dhana Manohara Kalaya Dhamana Vidhana Kalaya Dhamana Vidhana Amala Harinam Namya Vilasa Amala Harinam Namya Vilasa Vipina Purandarana Vina Nagarapara Vipina Purandarana Vina Nagarapara Vamsi Vajana Suvasa Vamsi Vajana Suvasa Brajajana Palana Surakulana Shana Brajajana Palana Surakulana Shana Nanda Godana Rakohala Nanda Godana Rakohala Govinda Madhava Navanita Tasara Govinda Madhava Navanita Tasara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Yamuna Tata Chara Gopi Vasanahara Yamuna Tata Chara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Mahaya Rasa Rasika Kripa Mahaya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara Bhakti Vinoda Srila Bhakti Vinoda Srila Amala Harinam Amya Vilasa Govinda Madhava Navanita Tasara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhaktivinoda Srila Bhaktivinoda Srila Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. After this, we will have skill bhajans and glorification of the Vaishnava Acharyas. And we will have Pushpanjali around 12:15. Then after that we have Aarti, Maha-Aarti. Then after that Prasadam will be served. Meanwhile, while the bhajan is going on, it's our tradition, Maharaj is here. We are giving prasad in packet. You all can take it, but don't break your fast. Keep it until 12:30. Then you can break your fast. And anyone wants to let us know, Maharaj is traveling everywhere. You want to give any dakshana towards that, is also welcome. Thank you very much. Jai Holiness Bhaktivinoda Lakshmi Maharaj ki, Prabhupada ki, Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki,
Anyone, please you and then else.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Guru. Hare Krishna Guru. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Guru. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
A lot of prasad, no problem, take your time.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So in a while sing this bhajan, Sarvasva Tomar Charani. This is also from the Sarnagati collection of poems from Srila Bhaktivinoda. It's being projected on the screen. Hare Krishna came out in noise. You can come forward silently.
Hare Krishna.
After taking prasad, please come and sit and then continue with the bhajan, please. All of you can sit at the same place. And the program is right up to 12. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, for arriving. Hare Krishna.
We're going to finish.
No, one more thing.
Lot of prasad.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Krishna. A lot of people here.
Candy.
Huh?
This candy. Coconut candy.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare I hope we got enough for Santa.
Give me some You initiated me, remember?
Really?
Gauranga Mohini.
Gauranga Mohini. Wow. I don't remember that name.
I think she's from KL, maybe.
Not for sale. What's wrong? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
For my mother,
You're in the kitchen. You're cooking. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Santa Gopi Mataji is bringing some fruits. Okay, let's start.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we will sing this Sarvasam Charani Bhajan. Before that, the translation. Listen carefully. It's very beautiful and
Hare
deep
Krishna.
song with deep meaning from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Surrender.
Yeah, but just short.
Now that I have surrendered all I possess, I fall prostrate before your house. You are the Supreme Lord. Kindly consider me your household dog.
Hare Krishna.
Train me near
Oh.
and maintain me as you will.
Sorry.
I shall remain at the doorstep and allow no enemies to enter your house. I will keep them at the bounds of the moat surrounding your home. Whatever remnants your devotees leave
Hare
behind
Krishna.
after
So
honoring
nice
the
to see you.
prasadam
How are you?
will be my daily
Nice to
sustenance.
see you.
I will feast on those remnants with great ecstasy. While sitting up, while lying down, I will constantly meditate on your lotus feet. Whenever you call, I will immediately run to you and do this.
Huh?
Happy Father's Day. Today's
I will
Father's
never
Day.
do
Today's Father's Day, isn't it?
maintenance, but rather remain transported by a multitude of ecstasies. Bhaktivinoda accepts you as his only support.
Hare
It's a
Krishna.
simple melody, folk song melody. The lyrics are there projected on the screen. Haribol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And we all try to sing this song.
Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare. Here.
My birthday today.
Good morning. Hare Krishna. Want some mango? What's that? Hare Krishna. I don't know how they're supposed to keep this till midday.
I think they have to keep in a cup or paper plate outside is right.
Oh yeah? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.